Okay, you guys, let's get started on example 7. So again, 7 and 8, these you probably can try on your own, and then at the very end see if you did it right. But otherwise, if you still need some help, just follow along and I'll help you get through it. So example 7, again, the first thing I always do is label the sides of the right triangle that I've been given to know which trig function I'm going to be using. So we're going to start from the angle that was given to us. That is not the right angle. So that would be the 35 degrees. Okay, well the x is the side that's directly across from my angle. So which side do you guys think is the x? Well, that would be the opposite side of the right triangle. The 20 is the side directly across from the right angle. So which side of your right triangle would the 20 be? The hypotenuse. You guys are so smart. Okay, so I have an opposite and a hypotenuse. Which trig function has the opposite and hypotenuse as its ratio? Well, that would be sine. Sine is opposite of hypotenuse. So this is telling me to use sine. So I'm going to say sine of my angle, which my nifty angle is 35 degrees. And that will equal the opposite over the hypotenuse, which the opposite side is the x, and the hypotenuse is the 20. Alright, I'm going to write my sine over 1, and guess what? We're going to be cross multiplying, which again, I prefer to start with the x, so I'm going to start with the x. 1 times x is x, and that will equal the other way. So 20 times the sine of 35 degrees. So it would be 20 sine of 35 degrees. And guess what? I've already solved for x. So at this point, you just either need to type your answer into Desmos or your graphing calculator. And I must remind you, don't forget to always check that you're in degrees first if you either haven't used your calculator or been on Desmos.com lately. Alright, so I'm going to type in 20 sine of 35. Close that parenthesis and bam, it's going to be 11 point. If I round to the nearest tenth, that 7 is going to bump up the 4 to a 5. So I get x is equal to 11.5 units. And again, if you prefer to use Desmos.com, probably by now you've kind of figured out which you prefer to use. Again, the easiest way for me is just to type it in, but don't forget, you can always get to your trig functions by hitting the keyboard, hitting functions, and in this case, we'll need a sine. So if you need to click sine, you can also get there. But I just prefer to type it in, because to me, it's much easier to type something in than trying to hunt something down. So 20 sine of 35 degrees. And look at that, we get 11.5. Well, that's all, you guys. Toodaloo.